Hello students, please put your name, date, and period on your notes. This is lesson 2-2, point slope form. Our objectives today are to write and graph the linear equations in point slope form. The next objective is to analyze different forms of a line to interpret the slope and y-intercept of a linear model in the context of data. Your vocabulary today is point slope form, forma pendiente intercepto. The point slope form of a linear equation is used to find the graph of a line using the slope and any point on the line. You can write the slope of a line M in the form M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It is also known as the vertical change over the horizontal change. You can write the equation of a line using any point, x1, y1, and the slope m in point slope form, and you'll want to memorize this equation and how to use it. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. So for this example, a line passes through these 2 points, -2, 5 and 3, 4. The first part of this question asks, what is the slope of the line? So we will label our points x1, y1, x2, y2. And first we will put y2, which is 4, minus y1, which is 5. So we want to put a minus, over x2, which is 3. x1 is -2, but we are minusing them, so you're going to have a double minus, or a minus negative, which changes to plus plus. So that equals 4 minus 5 is -1, and 3 plus 2 is 5. And some people have asked me, where does the negative go? Does it go in the numerator or the denominator? Is it on the rise or the run? And the answer is it doesn't matter, so you can just write it in front of the fraction, so it's -1/5. The next part of this question asks, what is the equation of the line in point slope form? So let's practice writing point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. So for our y1, we're coming back up to the original problem, so up here, and we're going to use that point. So the equation, what we're plugging into the equation is the m, the x1, and the y1. And in this case, the m is -1/5, which we found in part A. The x1 is -2, and the y1 is 5. Now we need to bring down the rest of the equation. So we bring down the y and the minus, we bring down the equals, we bring down the x, and we also bring down the minus. So you notice that there is this -2, and minus negative 2 changes to just plus 2. So I'm just going to rewrite that without the plus plus, so we end up with y minus 5 equals negative 1/5 parentheses x plus 2. Based on part A, find the y-intercept of the graph. So this is going back to lesson 2.1 with y equals mx plus b. We need to plug in our m, which is negative 1/5, and we're going to use the same x and y from the last problem. So our x was negative 2, and our y is 5 plus b. So from here, we just need to simplify. This becomes 2/5 when we multiply the fraction. And now we need to subtract 2/5 from 5. And 5 minus 2/5 is 4 and 3/5. So that is our b. And that b would not be a great thing to graph because it's a fraction. So we wouldn't want to graph that y-intercept of 4 and 3/5, which is why the point slope form becomes a better equation in this case. Let's turn our page. In this section, we are writing an equation in point slope form and sketching the graph. A line with a slope of 1/2 passes through the points 3, negative 2. Use the point slope form to write an equation of the line. Graph the line. Okay, so let's practice writing the equation for point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. So what we're plugging in to the y minus is y1 equals, we're plugging in the m and we're plugging in the x1. So I'm just leaving spaces where we're plugging things in. So my x1 and y1 can be found up here. My x1 is negative 2, my m is 1/2, and my x1 is 3. Now we just want to simplify that minus negative into plus plus. So I will rewrite this as y plus 2 equals 1/2 parentheses x minus 3. So we want to graph that. We're going to graph the point. And the point is opposite of what it seems. So x minus 3, that means my x is positive 3. Y plus 2, that means my y is negative 2. Which is the same as up here, because that's how we wrote the formula. Graphing that point, we go to 3, negative 2. And the slope is 1/2, so that means we rise 1 and we run 2. We rise 1, we run 2. And you can do this backwards, right? So I could draw my stair steps going this way also. And we can keep making those points as we go along the line. You connect those points, and you put an arrow on each end, and that is how you graph the line. Number 2, what is the equation of the line that passes through 2, negative 1, and negative 3, 3? Sketch the graph. Oh, on this one they don't give us the slope. So we're going to take these 2 points, and we have to find the slope, which we know how to do. Label this x1, y1, and x2, y2. Now, m is our slope. That equals the change in y. So our x2 is 3, minus our y1, which is negative 1, over our x2 is negative 3 minus our x1 is 2. This minus and negative changes to plus plus. 3 plus 1 is 4. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. Or we can just put the negative in front. Negative 4/5. That is our slope. Now we need an equation, which means we have to choose a point. So I'm just going to choose this point, x1, y1. And I'm going to have y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. So our y1 is negative 1. Our m, which we figured out in the first step, is negative 4/5. Our x1 is 2. I'm just going to rewrite this now all together. This is going to change to plus y plus 1 equals negative 4/5 x minus 2. And now we need to graph it. So I'm going to put the first point at 2, negative 1, because that was given to us in the problem. 2, negative 1. The other point they gave us was negative 3, 3. And I just want to check if we did our slope correctly. So did we rise negative 4? And did we run 5? And it looks like we did, so we can connect these points with a line. Okay. Let's apply this. An event facility has a banquet hall that can hold 250 people. The price for a party includes the cost of the room rental plus the cost of a meal for each guest. Marisa is planning an event for 75 people. She has budgeted $1,200 for the party. Will it be enough? Okay, so we have number of guests in the x-axis, and we have total cost in the y-axis, which means that we have points on this graph. So we have 50, $725. We have 100, $1,325, and it keeps going up. But we'll just start with those points. So you can see there's this linear relationship. Let's first start with the slope. So this will be 50 will be our x1, and 725 will be our y1, and then 100 is x2, and 1,325 is y2. So let's find our slope. y2 is 1325 minus y1, 725, over x2, which is 100, minus x1, which is 50. This equals 600 over 50. We can divide by 10, and these zeros cancel, leaving us with 60 divided by 5, and that is 12, because we know that from the clock, right? There's 60 minutes, and every 5 minutes we have another number, so 60 divided by 5 is 12. Right? Let's put this into our point slope form. So y minus y1 equals m, parentheses x minus x1. And I would like to use, well, first let's put in the slope. I would like to use the y1, which is 725, and the x1, which is 50. From here, now that we have these two things. So we have slope is 12, and we have the point slope form, y minus 725 equals 12 parentheses x minus 50. We can figure out how much it will cost for 75 people. And the way that we do that is we will put 75 into this formula, but for x. So watch this. Y minus 725 equals 12, parentheses. X is going to be 75 minus 50, because 75 is how many people she wants to invite to the banquet. Okay, so we just do order of operations. 75 minus 50 is 25. Y minus 725, we just bring that down. Now we multiply 12 times 25, which is 300. And now to solve for y, so basically we're just doing order of operations, but now we want to solve for y. What would we do to both sides of the equation? We would add to both sides 725. So the 725's cancel. Y equals 1025. What does that mean? That means that is how much it costs for 75 guests. And that would be somewhere in between 50 and 100 guests. And so maybe my line's not perfect because it should be like a little bit above 1,000. So yes, she has enough money because she budgeted for 1,200 and it only cost 1,025. And that concludes our section 2-1 notes.